It felt good to be back. You know, sleep in my own bed, you know, eat some real food, see the family, you know what I mean, get all that love. And
Fetty Wap is finally home after 3 years in federal prison, and he didn't waste time. He pulled up to Patterson with no security and started doing interviews within 48 hours. But then a footage surfaced that caught everyone off guard. Fetty looking terrified, literally begging his ops not to kill him. We've got all the details right here. Let's break it down. The homecoming nobody saw coming. January 8, 2026. Willie Jr. Maxwell II, the world know him as Fetty Wap, walked out that federal joint a free man. Homie had knocked out just over 3 years of a 6-year bid for that cocaine conspiracy charge. The First Step Act, that joint Trump signed back in 2018, let him stack up them good time credits through prison programs. That chopped like 3 whole years off his sentence right there. The 34-year-old rapper slid right back to Patterson, New Jersey. No hiding, no security deep. He pulled up straight to a family crib where like 20 to 30 of his peoples, relatives, and day one homies was waiting on him. They was hitting that 1738 chant heavy, you know, the signature Zoo Gang call, named after that Remy Martin cognac. Folks was playing his classic joints like Trap Queen and 679 in the background, while everybody reminisced about his come-up days before the fame hit.
yeah, man, what's up?
How
man?
you feeling, brother?
I feel good, man.
You ain't missed no push-ups, been eating your protein. Like you was taking full advantage of that time, huh?
Yeah, a couple chicken packs and tunas and all that.
See what I'm saying? How are you, first of all, brother?
I'm blessed, man. You know, I'm blessed.
Them celebrations ran for days after he touched. Small welcome home dinners at relatives' spots. That classic Jersey cuisine. Taylor ham sandwiches, Italian hot dogs, them homemade joints his moms and siblings threw together. Videos was all over the gram, showing him just vibing, keeping it 100, saying, "I'm blessed," over and over. His publicist told the press he was in a focused, grounded place and ready to reintegrate quietly with his peoples. Within 48 hours of being back on the streets, he sat down with Power 105.1's The Breakfast Club for his first major interview. He ain't speak on no ops. He ain't reference no threats. He was chopping it up about missing his kids' birthdays, they doctor appointments, basketball games, first days of school. 4 years is a long time to be away from your shorties, and you could hear it in his voice.
You know, I took a lot of time from them. And 4 years is a long time. You see your kids go from here to here, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I miss birthdays, I miss Christmas, I miss doctor's appointments, I miss daddy day at school and shit like
Basketball games, dances,
basketball games, football games. My son's first day of high school stuff.
Bro announced plans to start a foundation for kids with disabilities. This hit different for him, because he'd been battling congenital glaucoma his whole life. Lost his left eye when he was just 6 months old. Doctors said both eyes were supposed to be affected, but they saved one. He uses cannabis occasionally to manage. Pressure buildup, just like the doctors recommended.
Yeah, I had glaucoma when I was little. Matter of fact, my mother is here, actually. Mom.
Welcome to TMZ, Mom. I'm asking him about his eye right now.
How old was I when I lost my eye? This is the right answer.
6 months.
I was 6 months when I got glaucoma.
French Montana dropped footage of a studio session with Fetty and Max B right after he touched down, captioning it "Zoo Gang Forever." Gilly the Kid posted a FaceTime screenshot showing love for his resilience, telling him to stay locked in. 50 Cent, who had been holding bro down financially and mentally the whole bid, stayed tapped in. Whatever Fetty needed during them 3 years, 50 made sure he had it.
50 did a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? He from day one, it was like he reached out like, yo, whatever you need, just holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. And then it was like, where this money going? I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't used to that. I'm used to it's always the other way around.
Local Patterson news ain't report no static, no shootouts, no security issues connected to his return. Them same streets that saw him get violated, shot at, and beefing with multiple ops just 7 years prior welcomed him back smooth. Community reactions leaned towards celebration and relief. Longtime fans organized informal tributes with driveway signs reading "Welcome Home Fetty" and social media hashtags trending regionally. But them blocks got long memories. The peace he came home to wasn't always guaranteed. To really understand why folks was expecting smoke when he came home, you gotta peep what went down before they bagged him, starting with a 5 a.m. run to a Patterson deli that turned into a war zone. The deli situation that started it all. March 26, 2017, about 5 in the morning, the 24-hour Montclair Deli on Montclair Avenue in Patterson. Fetty and his Remy boys had slid through after a late-night performance. This was a spot Fetty had been hitting for years with no issues. That night switched everything up. The beef between Fetty and local Patterson rapper Raheem Fuzz Thomas had been simmering for a minute. It was rooted in the competitive hip-hop scene of their hometown. Territorial disputes, personal slights, competition for who was going to be the face of Patterson rap. Subtle disses had been traded through music and social media posts, but nobody expected it to pop off like this. Thomas and his squad ran up on Fetty's crew inside the spot. It started as hands at first. Thomas allegedly pistol whipped one of Fetty's guys. Another dude snatched Fetty's signature 1738 chain right off his neck. That piece represented everything Zoo Gang stood for, and took his bread too. Surveillance footage came out later, showing Thomas rocking a bright red jacket, cap, white shirt, and pants, waving a pole inside the deli. Everybody in there scattered. Fetty hit the floor in all that chaos. They also ran off with a book bag from the homie who got pistol whipped, making the whole scene even more chaotic. About an hour after they got robbed inside, that beef spilled outside to the streets. Shots started ringing. 3 people caught bullets. Nobody died though. 2 of them went to St. Joseph's Regional Medical Center in Patterson. A third one pulled up to Hackensack University Medical Center, later seeking treatment for wounds. Word was one of the wounded might have been Sylvester Huffin, one of Fetty's day ones and executive producer for RGF Productions, who might have accidentally shot himself during all that. That was never confirmed though. Police found a .45 caliber Springfield on Thomas. That John had been reported stolen out in Colorado. They also recovered illegal armor piercing and hollow point rounds. No weapon was found on Huffin, and it stayed unclear if others let off shots, but reports said members of Fetty's crew might have started firing after the brawl moved outdoors. The law moved quick. Raheem Thomas, 36 at the time, got booked on weapons charges, but walked the next day because of New Jersey's new bail reform. They snatched him back up on March 28 after that video confirmed he did it. By March 29th, they added first-degree armed robbery, aggravated assault, and multiple gun charges including possession as a convicted felon, since Thomas had prior convictions prohibiting him from owning firearms. He appeared in Passaic County Superior Court that day, where a judge ordered him held at Passaic County Jail pending further hearings. Right after this went down, Thomas posted a since-deleted gram of somebody masked up wearing Fetty's chain, saying he ain't do it himself but still trolling his op. Fetty clapped back on socials, posting pics of himself with new chains, showing he wasn't about to let nobody see him shook. This whole situation showed how deep the beef ran in Patterson's underground rap scene. Thomas, who went by Fuzz, was coming up as a rapper with local crew ties. The static was about territory, personal disrespect, and who was gonna run the music scene in that area. That shootout was when it peaked. Fetty Wap wasn't no suspect. They ain't charge him with nothing. He was the victim in this whole situation. In the years following, the feud appeared to simmer down publicly. No major escalations got reported, though it occasionally resurfaced in rumors or old footage. Fetty kept releasing music and focusing on family, while Thomas caught them legal consequences that kept him out the spotlight. But this wasn't his. Only smoke. Before the deli, before the fame, there was another beef brewing. One that hit closer to home because it came from inside his own circle, from somebody who claimed to have built Zoo Gang from the ground up. When the squad fell apart, the Remy Boys, also known as RGF, Remy Boys Gang Family, or Zoo Gang, Fetty's Patterson crew from the jump, they linked up around 2013-2014. The roster had Monty, Guap Dad 4000 at first, and P. Dice, government name Brian White. P. Dice was there from the beginning. He was on tracks. He was in videos. He claims he's the one who plugged Fetty with the right industry connects and helped build the whole brand from scratch. According to him, he met Monty first at a studio, and then they both linked with Fetty. The chemistry was instant, and they started cooking up music together.
So how long were you a part of the Remy Boys?
Day one Remy Boy, me, Fetty, Monty. We started it all together. We was all like down together, basically like homeless together, feel me? So where we just kind of like came up with that, but just building our craft, you feel me? And it took off.
Trap Queen dropped in 2014. That joint launched them into the stratosphere. It went multi-platinum. The Remy Boys mixtape was buzzing. They signed a deal with 300 Entertainment. The bag started coming in heavy. Then the cracks started showing. By mid-2015, word got out about internal problems. Fetty went public about the split in July 2015 through socials, saying P. Dice got kicked out for allegedly finessing money from the crew's shared earnings. In a deleted gram post, Fetty said P. Dice was pocket watching, basically counting everybody else's bread, and wasn't putting in work on tours and studio sessions. He claimed he'd been covering P. Dice's expenses without getting anything back. P. Dice came right back with the smoke.
He is my student. Him and Monty are my students. Like, their lives changed when they met me. You feel me? Like, I taught them flows, like all the original flows that Fetty, I don't know, it's like his style going in circles right now, but like all the original flows, like from the day one flows, those were my flows. You know what I mean? That was my style, but I embraced it, you feel me? Like, cause I ain't no hater.
P. Dice claimed he started that singy rap style in Patterson first. He called it ignorant R&B, that melodic flow that would become Fetty's signature sound. He said Monty caught onto his style first, then Fetty picked it up too. About 20% of his style, he admitted, came from Max B, who had a big impact on that wave sound. In August 2015, P. Dice dropped a diss track called Trap Queen Remix, coming straight at Fetty's biggest hit. The bars included lines about putting Fetty on and him acting brand new, plus allegations about owed royalties and getting cut out of the 300 entertainment deals. P. Dice kept the pressure up with more tracks, including Facts in late 2015, where he laid out all the alleged snake moves, not getting proper credit on songs, getting excluded from shows. He positioned himself as the real architect behind Remy Boys, posting screenshots of text messages and old photos to prove his contributions while fans divided into camps online.
It's either P. Dice or it's all of y'all. Like, we want problems, and as long as he's in y'all squad, we want problems with y'all. And Wap said, all right, he gotta go. Straight like that, that's the truth. I ain't leaving nothing out. That's the dead truth.
P. Dice explained what really happened. When Jersey rapper Tax G made claims about Fetty stealing his style, P. Dice responded on social media. Tax G's big homie then pressed Fetty and the squad, giving them an ultimatum. It's P. Dice or all of y'all. According to P. Dice, Fetty chose to cut him loose rather than stand with his day one. Around September 2015, reports dropped that P. Dice filed a lawsuit against Fetty and RGF Productions for breach of contract, trying to get over $100,000 in unpaid royalties from Trap Queen and other collabs. They settled out of court in 2016. Nobody knows the details. P. Dice's career suffered after the fallout. He dropped independent tapes like Dice World in 2016, but they ain't chart or get mainstream traction. P. Dice said they took him off multiple joints on Fetty's album.
Now, were there any other tracks you were supposed to be on?
Yeah, I was on Whatever, and I was on How We Do Things, and I was on 679. I was on Rewind. I was on a lot of tracks. A lot of them on SoundCloud. Yeah. Word, but I was on at least 4 tracks on the album though.
Meanwhile, Fetty rebranded the crew slightly, making Monty his primary collaborator for hits like 679 and My Way. In interviews around that time, he downplayed the drama, saying, "It's all love, but business is business. We had to move on." But subtle jabs continued. His 2015 track, Decline, was interpreted by fans as a response to P. Dice's Dices, with bars about fake friends and money grabbers. The beef kept going. In 2017, P. Dice went on Vlad TV, saying Fetty switched up after the Fame hit and accused him of using the squad for clout, then cutting them loose. He also mentioned physical altercations, but no police reports backed that up.
I was locked up. This kid is like an actor, my nigga, like, but I'm gonna let him, like, I mean, we gonna meet up one day. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see him one day. They think they're gonna blackball me or like get me out the way, but we're gonna meet up though.
Fetty ain't really respond directly after 2015, but in a 2018 Complex interview, he mentioned learning from bad business early in his career. Everybody knew he was talking about the P. Dice situation. The dispute became a cautionary tale in hip-hop about group dynamics, influencing how Fetty structured future collabs. That beef cooled off over time. P. Dice moved to low-key releases and content creation, occasionally nodding to the past like in a 2020 Graham reflection on real loyalty, but the history stays on record. When Fetty came home in 2026, these was the streets waiting for him. Streets where your mans could become your op overnight. Streets where chains got snatched and shots got popped. Still, he walked back through with zero problems. But before the feds got him, there was one more situation that showed the volatility brewing in his life. A Labor Day weekend in Vegas that proved Fetty's temper could still get him in trouble. The Fall and the Fed Bid. September 1st, 2019, Labor Day weekend, the Mirage Hotel and Casino out in Vegas, around 6:10 in the morning. A situation with a valet went left real quick. Fetty had just been in Jersey days before, performing at the 2019 MTV Video Music Awards as part of a tribute to Garden State artists alongside Queen Latifah, Redman, Naughty by Nature, and Wyclef Jean. He was riding high. Then Vegas happened. Fetty, 28 at the time, got into it with a parking attendant in the main valet area over some routine service issue, maybe delays getting his whip, access problems, or a misunderstanding about privileges. Words got heated. He allegedly started swinging on the valet. When security tried to break it up, he reportedly kept throwing hands, connecting 3 times on one security guard's face, plus putting hands on 2 other employees who tried to intervene. The valet caught visible injuries, facial swelling, though nobody needed serious medical attention. A Mirage worker put hands on him first with a citizen's arrest, holding him and his associates until cops arrived. Las Vegas Metro showed up around 8:30 a.m. to book him officially. He caught 3 misdemeanor battery charges, one for each person he allegedly hit. The surveillance footage TMZ dropped in mid-October 2019 showed all the chaos from multiple angles outside the valet booth. You could see Fetty stepping up aggressive, throwing at least 2 clean shots that landed on a security guard's head as others swarmed to restrain him. Guards tried to pull him away and pin him down, with shouts and rapid movement filling the frame before they got it under control. The whole thing lasted just minutes. He got booked at Clark County Detention Center, held for several hours, then posted bail and walked the same day. The charges got adjusted during the case. Formal documents reduced it to 1 count of misdemeanor battery, focused on striking the security guard. January 2020, a judge approved a deal that got the remaining charge tossed, contingent on Fetty staying out of trouble for a set period and completing any required conditions like anger management or community service. Case closed without a conviction. Unlike his other beefs, this wasn't no prolonged op dynamic, just an isolated, heat-of-the-moment clash with service staff. No prior connection between Fetty and the employees, no follow-up retaliation, no lawsuits from victims, no recurring issues at the Mirage. It briefly dominated headlines, then faded as he kept releasing music. But staying clean wasn't in the cards. October 29th, 2021. Citi Field, out in Queens, New York. Rolling Loud Festival. Fetty was supposed to perform. He never made it to the stage. Feds from the FBI and DEA grabbed him backstage, along with 5 other people, as part of Operation Crashout, a bust targeting a bi-coastal drug operation. The co-defendants included Anthony Lenardi, a correctional officer, plus Brian Sullivan, Anthony Cinci, Kevin Gunning, and Robert Lenardi. The indictment alleged conspiracy to distribute more than 100 kilos of controlled substances, heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and crack. Prosecutors laid out how the operation was a sophisticated pipeline moving bulk narcotics from the West Coast, mainly Cali, shipping them east through commercial flights and whips with hidden compartments they called traps. The distribution network ran through Suffolk County and Patterson from around June 2019 to June 2020. The total street value of the product was estimated in the millions, feeding the opioid crisis during a national surge in fentanyl overdoses. The Fed said Fetty was a kilogram-level redistributor, claiming he personally moved major weight and used his celebrity status and resources to help the operation run smooth. They had surveillance, wiretaps, and texts. One notable element was Anthony Leonardi's involvement, a New Jersey corrections officer accused of using his position to provide insider information and protection. He pled not guilty at arraignment. A judge set a $500,000 bond secured by family property, letting him out on house arrest with the ankle monitor and travel restrictions pending trial. Then, December 11, 2021 happened. During a FaceTime call, Fetty got into it with somebody the feds only identified as John Doe. According to FBI documents, the other person said some foul things, possibly bringing up Fetty's 4-year-old daughter Lauren, who had just passed in July 2021, and calling him a rat. In response, Fetty allegedly threatened dude's life multiple times, saying, "I'm gonna kill you and everybody you with," while flashing a pole at the camera and emphasizing his intent. The call got recorded. Visual and audio evidence showed him possessing and displaying the firearm, a clear violation of bond conditions that banned weapons possession as a convicted felon. August 8, 2022, the feds picked Fetty up in Jersey on a warrant for violating bond conditions. That $500,000 bond got revoked. He was remanded to custody at Nassau County Correctional Center, later transferred to Fed facilities like MDC Brooklyn, pending his drug case. His defense argued the outburst was provoked by the other party's inflammatory comments, specifically taunts about his daughter's death and accusations of snitching. But the court prioritized the objective violations over contextual provocation. August 22, 2022, he pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to possess and distribute more than 500 grams of cocaine, a reduced charge from the original multi-count indictment. May 24, 2023, Judge Joanna Siebert gave him 6 years in federal prison plus 5 years supervised release in a hearing at the Central Islip Federal Courthouse. He delivered a heartfelt statement of remorse, acknowledging the broader harm. "I hurt my community, the people that looked up to me, my family, and myself. I only ever wanted to help people, but I made bad choices.